Hello, dear friends. Something is wrong when civil rights become privileges. The pursuit of profits without regard for human cost is a sign of a failed regime. Opinion piece. Change of cycle. The pace is changing. March will be exciting. A slow and lethargic start. Momentum in mid-2025. Chinese Year of the Snake. Time for a change of skin. Concluding the strangest year. Let's start. 2025 is the year number 9 in numerology, representing the closing of a cycle. Things tend to come to a point of culmination or harvest, as we are able to reap what we have sown and close the door on things we need to let go, according to the Nath. The Chinese Year of the Wood Snake is said to bring intuition, wisdom, fluidity and change. The snake zodiac reminds us that it is time to shed our skin and keep an open and flexible mind to new possibilities that may arise. According to Bennett Ross, in Chinese tradition, when the yellow dragon and the blue dragon ride on the clouds with an army of fireballs, there will be a battle in the sky. The victorious one will have a red sphere in his mouth, called the Dragon Pearl. The fireballs that fall to earth are called dragon eggs. The Dragon Pearl was also the stone found by Peredor, a knight of King Arthur, and had the ability to turn everything into gold. When the dragon awakens, it will free us from this dense magnetism. It is full of the sustenance of life, has a divine breath, and is adorned with silver and gold. Tradition. Early Christians celebrated the New Year on March 25th, the day of the Annunciation, when the angel Gabriel announced to Mary that she would conceive Jesus. This event was considered the beginning of the story of Christ, and by extension, the beginning of a new era. They believed that March 25th coincided with the spring equinox, a date they considered to be the day of creation and the beginning of Christ's redemption. When Dionysius Exiguus introduced the Anno Domini calendar system in 525, he assigned the beginning of the new year to March 25th, based on the belief that the Age of Grace began with the incarnation of Christ. In parts of Europe, this practice of celebrating the new year on March 25th continued for centuries, even in the early modern era. Slow start. The first part of 2025 is likely to feel slow and lethargic due to Mars and Venus retrograde. We may feel challenged when it comes to our feelings of motivation and what ignites our heart's desire. It seems like the universe wants us to slow down, reflect and readjust, especially in the first part of the year. Although numerology indicates that it will be a year of endings, astrologically we are shown that all endings pave the way for new beginnings, such as in 2025, where we will have 4 major planets and the lunar nodes changing signs. It is incredibly rare, incredibly bizarre for so many planets to change signs in one year. In keeping with the theme of endings, it seems that 2025 will help us close out some big cosmic cycles that we have been working with for some time. Things are likely to come to a head as these planets complete their journeys and prepare to begin a new one. Eclipses. This year we we also have two blood moon eclipses, one in April and another one in September. Blood moon eclipses are the most potent we can experience and tend to bring powerful endings, further reinforcing the frequency of our year. We may feel caught up in a huge surge of emotions, but things will become clearer over time and perhaps even look brighter than before. With so many major planetary movements in 2025, it feels like the pace is changing. While we may not be able to realize all the changes and transformations this year, it seems like we are getting little tastes of what was to come as 2026 starts. A number one year in numerology and the time of new beginnings. As we approach the middle of the year 2025, we will encounter many new planetary cycles and major cosmic events, including the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. It is at this point that we can feel things moving forward and we can gain some momentum. Sudden transition. Benjamin Fulford is of the opinion that the Biden regime was controlled by China, and that this explains a lot. Their goal would be to turn the entire planet into an open-air digital prison, where access to food would be centrally controlled and other essentials for life. This means that the Chinese are now controlled by social credit scores and can lose their money as punishment for any form of disobedience. This was done in collaboration with their hidden masters from the Octagon Group in Switzerland. According to Fulford, the US would need to declare bankruptcy and announce a new North American republic. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen wants that the federal government will hit its debt limit on January 14th unless Congress take action or the Treasury implements extraordinary measures to avoid default. This has led some politicians to call for the debt ceiling to be lifted. If President Trump announces that the debt will be null and void, it will force the Chinese to negotiate an end to the Babylonian debt system. This would mean a sudden transition. According to Fulford, the West will go through a transition and experience an unprecedented renaissance as soon as it is freed from debt slavery. Such a transition is being negotiated with benevolent Asian secret societies for the Gisara Jubilee. The Chinese now believe they are invincible. They have just unveiled a 6th-generation stealth aircraft that they believe would give them superiority. They have also unveiled amphibious assault ships that they believe would give them naval superiority due to their ability to house, transport and launch large attack drones. What the Chinese don't know is that the Space Force has energy weapons that could turn major urban areas into pools of molten glass. These weapons would be used unless the Chinese accept a polycentric world and give up their plan to take over the planet. This would be the only warning they would receive. Chinese plane. China's new 6th-generation stealth aircraft presents several potential advantages. Advanced design. Its tailless configuration and triangular design improve its stealth capabilities, making it more difficult to detect by enemy radars. Greater range and capacity. Its larger size than the J-20 allows it to carry more fuel and weapons, ideal for long-duration missions. Cutting-edge technology. It incorporates advanced avionics, cutting-edge weapon systems, and artificial intelligence to improve decision-making in combat. Potential autonomy. The design could allow for completely autonomous operations, which would represent a significant advance in military aviation. Coordination with drones. It is expected to have perfect coordination with unnamed aerial vehicles, redefining named and unnamed teamwork in combat. Hypersonic weapons. There is a possibility that it could carry hypersonic weapons, which would significantly increase its offensive capability. Temporary advantage. China appears to have gotten a head start on developing and testing an operational 6th-generation fighter, which could give it a temporary strategic advance. Airplanes. According to Ariel Proletario 1, the three-dimensional plane of existence is collapsing. Stay away from airlines. Electromagnetic fields can interfere with aircraft systems by disrupting navigation, communication, and flight instruments. A sudden, intense change in the electromagnetic field, such as occurs during solar storms, could confuse pilots, disrupt the autopilot system, or affect onboard electronics, potentially leading to accidents. This is why we keep seeing planes struggle. In a more metaphorical sense, planes crashing in the media can symbolize the collapse of reality or a shift between dimensions. From an esoteric perspective, planes can represent layers of existence or consciousness. When the illusion of the material world falls apart, planes of perception collapse into each other, reflecting a deeper unraveling of the control narrative. Answers. More on Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. It seems that the videos we saw a while back showing Flight 370 being carried by 3 mysterious orbs are being accepted as legitimate by more and more people. As the call grows in alternative media for the truth about that incident to be revealed, the regressive side is expected to protect the secrets about the technology that was used. People like Trump and Musk likely already know the truth about what is happening, but don't expect that information to be made public in the near future, as the technology involved is too disruptive to the status quo and provides a too much of an advantage to those who handle it. According to Anthony, many light warriors have experienced trauma in their life. The impact of the event will have a trauma-like energy. We will acclimate much faster when this occurs. We need to be grateful for the trauma we have experienced because we are immunized. Our body in shock has been prepared for our traumatic life. We will feel the impact, but we will integrate it much faster than those around us. People who seem comfortable in their 3D life will experience the greatest impact during the event. Many will choose not to stay because the impact will be too great. That explains the 2 people in a field, one is taken and the other is abandoned scenario. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.